Good afternoon, and welcome to Greg Ferrera's Real Estate Rescue. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. I'm your host, Greg Ferrera, a local real estate agent with over 25 years experience. I work over at Good Vibes Real Estate, which is locally owned and operated in Boise and serving the entire Treasure Valley. I would like to introduce my co-host, Mr. Clint Walker of Summit Funding, located right here in Meridian. And Clint has over 20 years experience in the lending industry. Clint, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Great to have you today.
Well, it's awesome to be here.
Folks, if you are new, Real Estate Rescue is one of the Treasure Valley's top resources for up-to-date, real-time real estate sales information, statistics, and current trends. You'll also get great tips on home maintenance, remodeling, and updating, as well as new and creative financing options with Clint and his team. Now, folks, we are here to provide you with accurate, up-to-date information, resources, and assistance in all areas of real estate and finance. Clint and I put our extensive experience to work for you, the great people of Idaho. For those of you who are getting ready to move, or maybe just needing some temporary storage, you've got caught in a delay with your move, our friends over at Pro Relo Group are here to serve you. Whether it's right here in the Treasure Valley or somewhere across the country, Pro Relo Group is ready to serve you. They're local and happy to help. I encourage you to go to our great website, realestaterescueidaho.com. Again, realestaterescueidaho.com. And if you'd like any information from Clint, I, or the folks at Pro Relo Group, please scroll down on the landing page, fill out that form, and we'll get right back to you. Now, you can also reach us at the new email, Greg at realestaterescueidaho.com. Again, Greg, G-R-E-G, at realestaterescueidaho.com. You can reach Clint and I, or please feel free to give us a call directly at 208-559-0590. Again, 208-559-0590. Now, thank you for taking time to join us today. We're looking forward to a great show. Clint?
Yes, sir.
What's happening out there?
You know, people are still buying homes. People are still refinancing homes. People are still thinking of listing their homes, right?
Yeah.
So the outlook looks good.
Well, I think spring is, I'm not going to say it's here, it's on its way.
Oh, it's definitely on its way.
This last week was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. And I call it the gold rush. The Treasure Valley gold rush is full on.
Full on.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Now, is it time to sell?
Well, you know what? Yes.
Folks are in their cars, they're driving around, they're at home, and they're working in the shop, the garage. They're taking their lunch break to share time with us.
Let me ask you a question, Greg.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it with prices this high where you can basically ask whatever you want?
No.
No.
Have not. I think we hear a lot about multiple offers.
Yes.
Clint, I mean, that seems to be the buzz. And, you know, I think that sounds great to some folks. We get top dollar. My home's going to be bid. They're going to bid against each other to give me top dollar. They might be waiving the home inspections, waiving appraisals, as you and I talk about, some of the challenges with that. And then that possession after closing.
Yes, it's true.
A lot of unconventional things are going on right now in the market. And
seems like it.
There's some challenges, as great as that might sound. Folks, the market has become very stressful on a lot of buyers.
Yes, it has.
That we know personally. Some folks who have said, hey, we're going to put our buying a home process on the shelf, and we're going to wait to another day. So I'm going to say the $64,000 question today is, how long can this go on?
Well, I haven't gotten the crystal ball yet.
I made a note here. Do you have the crystal ball?
Amazon did not deliver. That doesn't make any sense. And the magic 8 ball is all over the board.
I think we'll have some fun today. Folks, we're going to talk about multiple offers.
Yes.
The parts and pieces of that, what that looks like, kind of break that down a little bit so people kind of understand. Some folks involved in that, some getting ready to do that. As we see more sunshine, the temperatures warm up, obviously more folks will be making plans to put their house up for sale. Before we get there, just a couple reminders, Clint. We have search options for you. We created a search engine site for folks to look for homes. If you go to our website, realestaterescueidaho.com, you can click on the Search for Homes tab. You do have to sign up. You will not get stalked. We kind of have a little joke
right.
about that. We won't stalk you. You'll get an email saying welcome aboard. If you need anything, please reach out.
But you're more than welcome to stalk us.
Yes, definitely.
Right? Call us as much as you want.
You're killing me. Next one. Be kind. 2021.
100%.
You and I made a commitment. Folks.
Was it rough last year?
Yes.
Greg, was it rough?
And we're kind of coming out of it a little.
A little bit coming out of it, right?
Yeah.
But there's still people who are going through it, right? People who have maybe went through it already, just not quite out of it, maybe mentally not quite out of it. We just don't know that, do we?
You don't know who's...
I like what you're thinking.
What's going on.
Be kind.
People around you.
Love it.
Be kind to folks around you. Make an attempt and reach out. And we do talk about those phones. Those doggone things were actually used to communicate the voice.
Remember back in the day?
Search Facebook and Twitter and
when you used to have to dial it and it would go you remember that?
And it went ring.
Ring. Yeah, you remember that?
And you had the cord.
Yeah. You had the
couldn't
cord.
go around the corner because somebody would say, "Get back!"
That's
over
right.
here.
Back over here because you couldn't. Yeah.
Or they'd hang it up on you when you're around the
that's
corner.
right, because they hang it up because you're around the corner because you're talking too long. Yeah.
To your friends.
Yeah, right.
I remember those things.
Yeah.
So be kind. Use that phone. Reach out to folks. Say hello. It is a great opportunity. Spring is coming. Weather's changing, and some fantastic weather and opportunities here in the Treasure Valley.
Absolutely.
A couple more reminders. I am passionate, folks. Clint and I are here for you. Real Estate Rescue is set up to help the folks of Idaho. Occasionally, you will hear ads about people buying homes, paying cash, and that you don't have to use a real estate agent. You don't need an open house. Make that all sound like it's an advantage, and it is not. We're here to help you get top dollar, get you out of tight situations. The market is at a fantastic place right now for you to capitalize and get through any transitions that you have.
That's correct.
So if you or somebody you know is in a tight spot, please do let us know. realestaterescueidaho.com. And Clint and I always say, have a pen, pencil, or crayon at your ready if you want to write down a number, like Clint's number once in a while. Or
let's hear it. Greg, what's your number?
208.
Yep.
559.
Yep.
0590.
0590.
559-0590. And I know yours. 208-870-4279.
That is awesome.
208-870-4279.
Do you know why we don't call? We don't have them memorized anymore. Remember? We used to have the number memorized because that was the only way you could call them or write it on the wall so you knew you had it, right?
Now I have your picture.
Now you have the picture, and now you have to look it up, right?
Or a picture of something. Yeah, there you go. And we have the new email address. I mentioned it earlier, greg@realestaterescueidaho.com. Please feel free, reach out to us. Now, Clint, let's get to the show. Have a little bit of fun. We were talking about interest rates, and everybody's super sensitive to this. We're watching TV, we're listening to the news. They're up, they're down, they're moving around. What's your advice to somebody who has kind of been waiting for the right time? Maybe it's a job transfer, maybe something's going on, and they're thinking now might be the time. What's going on with the rates? Can we still capitalize?
Of course you can. So here's the suggestion that I make, okay? Are you able to save money, and how much is it? Ask yourself that question. How much money per month can I save? What's it going to save me in the long term? Right? Because interest on a 30-year loan or 20-year loan or 15-year loan, that's a long term. You pay a lot of interest out. So the question is, how much money can you save during that time? Then you have to look at the numbers and say, does it make sense?
In a refinance.
That's correct.
Okay.
The other question is, how much home can I buy? Rates are still great, right? I mean, granted, prices are high right now, but rates are still pretty amazing. Right? Low threes, some people even in the threes, some of them under, depending on what you want to buy it to if you want to. Ways you can extend locks out. There's different ways you can do this in today's market. And we're all going to have to get creative to do that to help people get to that point, right?
So I think I was thinking about a couple of things as you're saying that.
Yeah.
Interest rates, buying time, what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
I always look to you for our future forecast. And so you're saying if I want to refinance, I can still save some money.
Yeah, you can.
So now's a good time, depending on where my interest rate
where's it
currently is. And then what happens to...
Well, what's your scenario? Do you have other debt that needs to be paid off? Do you have student loans that are now coming due that you didn't have before? Did you have high interest credit cards that you put certain things on and paid for, but you didn't pay for them? And
So to your point, we had talked to one of the clients here recently, and I think when you were going to do a refinance, plus pay off the debt, plus help a couple other things for their particular situation, there was over a $500 a month savings.
Yes.
Pretty outstanding.
That's a lot.
And it wouldn't look that way at the front.
No.
It would only look like a couple hundred.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you got to put it on paper and see what it is, and look how much in savings. If you think about on a 30-year loan at $550 a month savings, but that's a long term. That's huge.
Yeah.
Right. So are those potentials out there? Absolutely. And all you have to do is call and find out. The other thing is how much money do you have in your home right now? It's truly it is a seller's market. It's crazy how much money is there. Is it worth it to take that equity that you've built over this time to put it in to another home?
Well,
right. And that's where you come in, is that and what they need to do. And I know we're going to probably talk about that throughout the show, but.
A little bit, yeah. There's some great opportunities right now, and want people to be able to capitalize. But
Yes.
I know that folks are starting to look at the market down the road here.
Right.
We tell the future what's going to happen, and I know we got to take a break here shortly. But I was talking to one of my folks in the new construction world, and they were talking about the builder cooperating with the buyers to buy down that rate for an extended point in the future,
You bet.
up to a year.
Yeah.
And willing to split the cost.
Oh, wow.
With the buyer.
So they're looking at long term, not wanting to lose business. That's possibly looking at that, saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't have enough time. I can't do it. So I'll just walk away." But instead, here's an incentive.
Well, and so it's
Stay with us till we can finish the home.
Stay with us. We're going to guarantee that great interest rate you have
Gotcha.
today
Wow.
in March to close in
Beautiful.
November, December, January
Right.
of 2022.
Awesome.
So lots of creative things going on out there.
Yeah, there is.
So you're saying if we're thinking about refinance, we've put it off, we watch rates go down. They've come up a little bit,
Yeah.
but you're saying it's still worth doing.
Still
it.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can folks reach you?
Hey, you know what? I think you know the number. 208-870-4279.
One more time.
208-870-4279.
Okay, and before we have to go to a break, I don't want to miss the Hero program. It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
Can you share with folks?
Still there. There's still money available for it. There's qualifications you're going to have to look at just to make sure that you're there. But hey, we want to, huge shout out, obviously, to our heroes and first, frontline workers and our police force and our firefighters and those that are on the front lines that are helping us all the time. That's really what that's for. Retail workers as well have been lumped into that with the heroes. They've been there for us. So that's what it's all about.
Okay, Clint, stick with us.
Got it.
Folks, we're going to be right back. We need to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Greg Ferrera's Our Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. We hope you're enjoying the show. Stay tuned. We're going to do a deep dive on prices in the Valley. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Greg Ferrera's Our Real Estate Rescue. You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. I'm your host, Greg Ferrera with Good Vibes Real Estate, along with my co-host, Mr. Clint Walker, and his Creative Solutions team at Summit Funding. Clint,
Greg,
welcome back on Saturday afternoon.
Appreciate it.
So I did want to go just touch base. We had to go to a break there. I was going a little long. I really like the Hero program. And when we were talking about this a few weeks back, the interest rate was actually lower than everybody else seemed to be getting. Is there still that incentive? I mean, rates have gone up a little. So
yeah, rates have gone up a little bit, but they have to kind of show that. I think that's their catch to bring people in.
And there's some parameters around income and some of that.
Income and costs and everything else, yep.
So if that might be an option, folks, don't give up on it. There's still some great opportunities out there. Give Clint a call, 208-870-4279. Now, Clint, anything else folks should be aware of here as we're moving into spring and markets going to be picking up? We're seeing a few more homes available.
Yeah, a few more homes available. I think you may even hit on this a little bit, but we found a couple areas where the inspection has come back and hurt the deal.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that today.
Are we?
Bit. Yeah,
okay,
you're getting ahead of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's tough. I must have gotten good sleep last night to be able to catch up like that, right?
You're ready to go.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, let's talk about what's happening in the county. So Ada County right now had 215 active listings. And for those of you who are new to the show, our criteria we use is 3 bedrooms or more, 2-car garage or more, 2 bathrooms or more, and a half-acre lot or smaller. Single-family residences. So in Ada County, there were 215 available this week, averaging an astounding $660,000. Clint? The new construction, there was 120 of those. So to break it down, new construction was 120 units, and they averaged $636,000. Wow. The existing homes, Clint, took a little bump. There was 95 of those, averaging $690,000, almost $700,000 as an average to existing homes. Now, we'll break that down a little bit. In beautiful Eagle, Idaho, I had 9 new construction listings available, averaging $1.74 million. The beginning
With an
price, the entry level was $536,
Okay.
going up to $1.6. And then existing homes or resales, I like to call those, averaged $971. The beginning entry level on that, Clint, was $440,
Okay.
and it went to $1.45. Now, I made some notes. I did see for the first time here in several weeks some little red highlighted spots when I was doing the stats for price reductions.
Interesting.
So wanted to bring that up. Now, right next door in beautiful Boise, Idaho, there were 14 new construction homes available at averaging just over $1 million. 562,000 was the start. Clint, when would you have thought
No.
over $500,000 is the bottom for the new
Starting.
construction in beautiful Boise, Idaho?
Never saw it.
Went up to that $3.9 million home that we've been watching. And then existing or resale homes, there were 38 of those, averaging $738,000. The floor on that, the beginning was $335,000, going up to $2.195. Pretty astounding.
Yes, it is.
Amazing, folks. Some of the stats that we hear here that we're sharing with you, it is astounding. Next door in Meridian, there were 56 new construction homes listed and available, averaging $532,000. The floor on that, Clint, was $449,000 to get in the game there at $1.225 was the top. And then existing or resale, there were 24 of those, averaging $674,000. $360,000 was the floor on that, going up to $1.96. I do want to give a little side note. In many cases, folks, the new construction numbers that I'm sharing, those homes are not available to go purchase today and move into, Clint.
Wow.
You are 6, 8, 9, maybe months and maybe a year out. So just heads up on that one.
Wow.
Little side note. In Kuna, beautiful Kuna, in new construction, there were 40 homes available listed for purchase and then future build for most of those, averaging $493,000. The floor on that, Clint, was $426,000 to get in the purchasing game there in Kuna, and new construction going up to about $600,000. Existing or resale, there was 11 homes averaging $446,000, $335,000 to get involved there, going up to $695,000.
In Kuna.
Isn't that amazing? Wow. And then in Star, beautiful Star.
Star,
yeah,
Idaho.
one, and we do that for our friend Mr. Kevin Miller.
Yeah.
There was one home available, new construction, $535,000. There were 9 existing homes. That's gone up.
Yeah.
They're starting to show up. Sun
There we
comes
go.
out.
That's good.
March, and homes are going to start coming up for sale. We need more.
Yes, we do.
We need lots more. Those were averaging $522,000 in Star, and the floor on that was $425,000, going up to $640,000. And then next door in beautiful Canyon County, Clint, there were 107 active listings, averaging $446,000. New construction, there were 77 homes, averaging $468,000. The floor on that was $350,000, going to $600,000. And then existing or resale was averaging $389,000, and the floor on that was $275,000, going to $699,000 overall. So
Okay.
if we break that down, in beautiful Nampa, there were 48 new construction homes listed for sale, averaging $474,000, and the floor on that was $350,000, going to $600,000. And existing or resale, there were 21 of those in Nampa, averaging $406,000, and $275,000 was the bottom price, going up to $700,000. And then right next door in beautiful Caldwell, new construction had 21 homes, averaging $444,000, and $375,000 was the start there, going up to just over $500,000. And then existing resale, there were 6 of those, averaging just over $400,000, starting at $350,000 and going to $450,000. And then in Middleton, I know you're familiar
Yeah.
with where that is.
A little bit.
There were 8 new construction homes available at $496,000, just under $500,000 for an average, and going from $445,000 to $520,000. And the 2 existing homes averaging about $345,000.
2 existing.
Yep, 2. What do you think, Clint?
I think that if you were considering selling your home at all, and you had it on your mind and you just thought, you know what, I just need a consultation just to see if that's the right thing for me to do, I think you need to give Greg a call.
Well, if you're thinking about selling your existing home and buying a new home and making a plan, I do say today we're going to talk about selling. But if you're selling, my first question is, where are you going to go? We met with, 2-3 people this last week, and that's the first thing I asked.
Where are you going?
Where are we going to go? Because I'm not in the commission collecting business. We're in the helping people.
I had somebody that came in that were doing that, and they said, I want to get pre-approved for another home. And I said, well, where are you going to go? And they go, we don't care. We're making enough money. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
They didn't care.
They're out of here.
They're done. Sell the house.
Well,
So hey, you know what? Maybe people are feeling that. They're like, you know what? It really doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to be done. It doesn't matter where I move. I can work from home or whatever it is. Maybe I'll find a place to rent or something. Who knows? But it's interesting.
So we have a minute or so, and I do want to start going into the pieces and parts of a multiple offer right after the break.
Okay.
I did want to just take a minute and get your thoughts on kind of what's happening in the market. People now with COVID, the change coming on, we have the great migration for whatever that's worth. When they get here, there's not a lot to buy, places to move. But what are your thoughts on moving forward here in the spring and the summer? What does this look like? You're talking about people just saying, okay, I'm out of here. And a lot of the folks we're working with right now, folks that we're working to help sell their homes, they're leaving the state.
Yeah, a lot
I
of them
think
are.
almost every single one we're working with right now.
They're leaving, going to another
Texas,
state.
Missouri,
Oklahoma.
Seattle, Oklahoma.
We've got them going everywhere.
Yeah, they're taking off. So, and a lot of it's about family. It's that time of your life to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick break.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's come back and talk about this. Folks, you're listening to Greg Ferrera's Our Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. We hope you're enjoying the show today. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned in. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk about a multiple offer and what's involved and how we best capitalize, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Hey, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Greg Ferrera's Our Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. I'm your host, Greg Ferrera. I work over at Good Vibes Real Estate, along with my co-host, Mr. Clint Walker, and his Creative Solutions team over at Summit Funding. Clint,
Yes, sir.
it always goes too fast.
Goes quick.
There's a lot going on, and once we get going, like 100 other things kind of pop up.
Yep.
And sometimes I wish we had more time and want to make sure we're addressing. Folks, if you need anything, we're here for you. Clint and I are working hard 6-7 days a week sometimes.
Sometimes. Ask any question you want.
Long days. Please reach out to us. Our website is realestaterescueidaho.com. We're available. You can get us on email, greg@realestaterescueidaho.com, and that's GREG at realestaterescueidaho.com. You can call directly at 208-559-0590. You can get me or you can get Clint directly at 208-870-4279. And we'll give you those numbers a couple more times before we're done. So I did want to take some time, Clint. We're working with several folks who are selling right now and they're taking off and moving. So we're helping with their financing. We're helping them navigate the sales environment, which can be really challenging. And I would assume a handful of our listeners have gone through this, or they may be in the middle of this and may have some questions or relate to us. So happy to reach out if you do need some help. But for folks getting ready to maybe think about doing this, I know we've talked to several folks who are getting ready to move forward. I know Chris and John, and I talked to Gene yesterday. So a lot of folks are getting ready to do this. So I do want to emphasize in a multiple offer, in many cases, the last couple we've done, actually, Clint, price was not the final determining factor.
Really? What was it?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, very.
You would think the highest price gets it. It was actually possession and the type of loan. The money down versus the type of loan, which I'll have you explain as we get deeper into this, because it can get a little complex. You know, one offer says we're going to give you $500,000, and then we're going to put $1,000 down, and we're going to get a loan of 100%, and then we need a second loan to pick up for some things, and so it's, you know, that dynamic, as you see all the time, it can be confusing and a little misleading when you hear multiple offers and bidding. The last one we just sat on last week, I think there was 7 of them. And the offers were very different. Prices were pretty close, but the guts of the offer were very different. And so we spent some time and looked into that. So the deciding factor is not always money. So let's look at the aspects here of what I'll call a sale agreement, an offer, however you'd like to use the term. And so offer price would be the first one. And that's going to be the number that they say, okay, we're going to offer you $550,000 for your house.
There you go.
Okay, that's the one that gets everybody's attention.
Yep.
Now, the next one, there's 3 moving parts as I look at this to an offer. The first one would be the earnest money.
Yep.
The good faith money. So folks, when Clint and I are referring to earnest money, that's a little bit of money that you put up front into escrow within a few days of the offer being accepted, and that's your good faith money telling the seller that you're serious and want to move forward to purchase their home. And now we could go into a whole show about does that non-refundable? Can you lose that?
Can you make it non-refundable partway through?
Yeah.
Do you release it? How much do you give, right?
That's
do you give
a whole nother
Do you
show.
give 1%? Do you give 2%?
Yeah.
Do you give 10%? What's your earnest money?
Standard is about 1% in the business, but I've seen people do way over, especially lately. They want to make an impact on the seller. I've seen it getting released, which can be dangerous. Can really have some ramifications. So anyway, let's kind of move forward. We can get stuck on earnest money for the rest of the show. So you got earnest money, which is your good faith money. That goes down within a few days of the offer being accepted, goes into title. And then the next one's your down payment. And Clint, here's where I kind of want you to kind of fill in some of the gaps, because depending on the loan that as a buyer, my wife and I are qualified for, you have a calculation of how much our down payment is, how much we need to participate with you guys, because you're going to loan the rest. So when we're doing a down payment, that's a percentage of the loan. Is that flexible or changeable sometimes for folks or not?
Absolutely. That could be anywhere from 3.5% down, 3% down, 5% down, 10, 15, 18. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just depends. Depends on the loan you're doing. If you're doing, a VA, if you're doing an FHA, if you're doing Idaho housing, if you're, if you're just doing a regular conventional loan and you don't want to pay mortgage insurance, then typically you're going to put 20% down. And, but
so 20% is the magic number for the mortgage insurance. Yep. Now, this does not include the closing costs.
No.
Correct? Which I didn't put in here necessarily. That'd be a loan title thing, and that just adds to some of the costs. But I'm trying to look at this as an offer if I'm a seller.
Sure.
So what are the things coming at me? What do I need to consider as a seller? So let's say it's a $500,000 offer. You're making the offer, and you put $5,000 down for earnest money, and then you have a $450,000 loan.
Right.
So now it's a $50,000 down situation.
Right. So now all of a sudden you've got some good down. Well, what does that do for you as a seller?
Well, in theory, it would make you feel a little more secure about the situation. Now, having said that, Clint, I have done hundreds, if not thousands, of VA loans in which 100% is funded through the VA. So, but I'm with you. The perception is there. No different than a cash deal.
Sure.
If it closes the same time, the cash and the loan, the money's the same to the seller.
That's right. That's why a lot of cash buyers go earlier close, right?
Absolutely, and I mentioned that down here.
Yeah,
You're getting ahead of me again.
Okay, don't do that. We're going to come back.
So now, we get the loan, and then there's different structures of your loans. So some of the factors affecting what's going on today, I bring it up as that appraisal.
Yeah, appraisal's going to definitely make a difference.
Have one of our favorite appraisers on here in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Cindy's going to come back and talk with us. So do you want to just speak for just a minute here? When we have an appraisal situation come in, and if it comes under a little, does that make your job harder, easier? What happens? I kind of know the answer, but I'm wanting you to share with everybody. We didn't just have that happen. So
no, we did. It just depends on the person, right? So if you have someone that wants the home pretty bad and they're willing to come up with the difference, then they know that going in. I know that you put that on your contract. You talk about that there's a possibility that that's there, and I know that you look for that, right? It doesn't happen so much on a refinance where you have to turn around and say you're at the mercy of the appraiser, in which you really are, and you hope that they get the right comps. You hope that they're on board or that they're having a good day, I suppose, right? And that they come up with a number that makes sense for them based on the values that you're seeing come across your desk every single day, right?
Absolutely.
But on a purchase situation, I mean, it's totally depends on how much, I guess the appraisal is going to, how much money that person has on top of what they're going to put down, right? If the appraisal comes in $50,000 short and they're putting $50,000 down, we might have a little issue. There's a couple options you have, right?
Yes.
Number one, you know what that is. You got to go back to the seller and say, "Hey, are you open for
a reduction?
A reduction.
20 grand. Uh-oh.
Yep. Or you go back to the buyer and say, "Hey, who do you know that has some extra money, or what are you willing to do?" Right?
It is a challenging situation, and I foresee the future because of the past that we may be dealing with this a little more moving forward. And I do want to acknowledge, in a lot of the offers I've looked at lately, they are not all including that we're going to pay for the difference.
Yeah.
So they're hoping that it comes together. And I saw some remarks the other day in one of the houses I was looking through. And the agent said, please include the addendum that says you will waive the inspection, which is a telling of the times that we're in. Yeah. Clint, I'm with you. That's a challenge right now.
To me, that's scary.
It is tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say when people are paying more than the home's appraising for?
And waiving the inspections.
And the appraisal. So, folks, by waiving the appraisal, they're not actually waiving the physical appraisal. They're waiving the valuation that comes in if it comes in lower than the offer price.
That's right.
It still needs to come in at the ask or the listed price, or then we have to have a chat with the seller.
That's right.
But so what we're generally talking about is if the home is listed for $500, I come in and offer $550. I say, hey, I'll write a check for the additional $50,000 at closing, as long as it appraises for $500.
That's right.
You with me? Okay. All right.
But
now,
if it comes in at $450, then we got to.
Oh, we got to go back to the seller. Yeah, with just my $50,000.
Yeah.
So right now, in some cases, this is a what do you want to call it? A crapshoot like Vegas.
It is.
Because you don't have comps in
You
some
hope you're
cases.
rolling sevens, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's what's going on, folks. It is the real deal.
It truly is.
Then I want to move to that wonderful process we call a home inspection.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a fan of doing those ahead of time. Not all of you who listen regularly.
I am too, because I jumped ahead on the first segment, right?
Yeah, get it done.
Didn't I say, hey, let's do the home inspection? You said, I'm getting to that. Hold on a second.
We want to get those done ahead of time so you don't have any surprises.
Yeah, I like that.
Our commercial speaks to that.
Yeah.
We don't want you getting any and surprises during a real estate transaction. It can cause stress. Finances can hurt a deal, actually.
Yeah.
And so in those inspections, you just break that down a little bit. We won't go too deep, but there's your cosmetic issues, there's the structural ones, and then there's the systems.
Mm-hmm.
So the home inspectors go through those houses from top to bottom with a fine-tooth comb, and they do a great job with that. And so they're looking for cosmetic things so you as the buyer are aware, then any structural issues that may cause you to say, hey, I don't want to buy the house.
Yeah.
And then you would get your earnest money back at that time. And then systems being roof, windows, furnace, siding, and those types of things. And Clint, I'm going to get squeezed on again here. We never have enough time.
Quick.
We're going to have to get to a break. So, folks, we were going to continue our deep dive here on the selling process with multiple offers. Stand by. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Greg Ferrera's Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM and 107.5 FM. We hope you're enjoying the show today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to go back into the processes of a multiple offer, how to capitalize, and what to watch out for. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Greg Ferrera's Real Estate Rescue on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM, 107.5 FM. I'm your host, Greg Ferrera with Good Vibes Real Estate, along with my co-host, Mr. Clint Walker, and his Creative Solutions team at Summit Funding. Clint, it's a beautiful Saturday in Idaho. The market's moving. I'm saying spring's coming. Not that we might not snow again, but
Oh, it might. Sure.
spring's on its way.
Yes, it is.
And I want to go back to our conversation. We're kind of doing a little deep dive here on what happens in this process of these multiple offers and what things can affect those. So we started out with price is, just to recap for a second, price is that big fancy thing at the top in neon that shines that everybody goes, yeah, what's the top dollar? And then there's some moving parts in the price having to do with earnest money, that good faith money we put down, the down payment, which has to do with the loan, ultimately with you, and then the loan amount and the loan type. So whether it's an FHA, a VA, a government-insured loan, Fannie, Freddie, conventional,
right.
a lot of moving parts there to consider. So it's important that when you're selling your home, you're working with people who understand the differences.
Yeah.
That's a different show.
That's right.
And now, into the home inspection, we talked about that process. In some cases, they're being waived. In other cases, people are saying, okay, we're going to do a home inspection, but it's just for information, which can be kind of dangerous, Clint.
It can be
What if
kind
you
of
do the home
dangerous.
inspection and you go, oh, look at that.
Wait a
Uh-oh.
minute. That's going to cost $20,000 to fix it.
Yeah, I don't want to buy now.
Just had one.
Yep. Yes.
No, I did. And she was all approved, ready to go. And then they got the inspection done. And guess what? There is so many problems. It's a $20,000 bill. What did she do?
One of our offers that was accepted in the last week, the agent wrote in there, home inspection for buyers, information only.
Ooh.
No repairs to be asked for. I don't know that we're watching out for the buyer.
No, not there.
Let's be careful. Okay. Now, the home inspections have three different areas, if you will. Clint, just to recap, that was cosmetic, structural, and systems. So structural being the foundation, walls, trusses, roof joists, those types of things, floor joists, roof trusses and floor joists. And then your systems being your roof, your windows, your furnace, all the working systems in the home. And so there's two distinctions here. So the home inspection does not trump that appraiser. So if the appraiser comes in, Clinton asks for a repair, you're aware of this. I'm just kind of sharing that with the audience.
Right.
If they ask for something, it doesn't matter what was on the inspection.
That's right.
We're not getting the money without getting that
That's
fixed.
right.
So that can also come up and be a challenge. Now, buyers are paying top dollar, Clint. We know that. We're aware of that. But if they're not waiving the inspections, I can share with you the last handful of buyers we've helped, they actually want the things repaired that come up on the home inspection.
Oh.
They would appreciate that.
Sure.
They're paying $25,000 to $60,000 over.
Over asking price.
Yep. Which is a bunch.
Yeah.
Now, here's another one that gets a little misconstrued, some misunderstanding behind this. One of our favorite topics, the closing date.
Yeah.
That's the deadline that we create when we write the offer.
That's right.
In the future, and that there's 100 things are going to happen. A bunch of people are going to perform to get to that date. Now, typically 30 to 45 days. Fair? Try to push it 30.
Sure.
VA, they're asking for 45 in some cases.
Yep, that's
Unless quicker if it's cash.
That's right.
Yep. Now, folks, it's important to know that the closing date and the signing date are not the same thing.
No, they're not.
And some people will come in, and come in to sign, and then they want their keys. That just happened the other day.
Yep, I'm sure it does.
Buyers come in, they signed on Tuesday, closing was Friday, and on Tuesday they said, Greg, can we get the keys? I said, well, we have to wait till Friday, till it funds and records. So just a little heads up.
Yep.
Sometimes when you go in and sign, that's not always the same day you get the keys. When you also, for those of you who are leaving, when you're calling this just came up, your utility folks, let them know that you're moving, give them a date, ask them not to turn things off until the buyers come in.
That's right.
We just had some buyers try to move over the weekend, their power was off.
Oh, no.
So just a side note. And then let's go to possession, our favorite run right after the closing date. And, Clint, we're having a lot of situations now where we're having people who are staying, the seller is selling, closing, and staying in the home for an extended period of time.
Okay.
And a lot of the loans right now are requiring no more than 60 days.
Yep.
You have that?
That's right.
We
Yeah, we're seeing
the other
that.
day, that just came up the other day. We had an offer written and somebody tried to make it 75.
Yeah.
And the underwriter came back and said,
no, that's not going to work.
that's not going to work. Yeah. So it was a 60-day deal.
That's right.
So it's important, folks, to realize we have a lot of different things going on, and that 60-day is part of the loan. So after closing, seller possession, sometimes, Clint, it's at no additional cost.
Yeah.
We've negotiated so the seller can stay for 60 days at no additional cost. I think a couple of them, folks are sharing.
Sure.
It was 30 days for free, and then they were paying 30 days.
Yeah.
And then something that I'm seeing recently, we haven't seen for a while, the buyer, when they write the offer, is asking for a holdback to use as what I want to put, I don't want to say leverage, an insurance policy, if you will. They'll have $5,000 to $10,000 left in escrow after closing in case you, the seller, damage my home.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're now in my home. $5,000 to $10,000. Been seeing that recently. Haven't seen that for a long time.
Yep.
All of a sudden, it's starting to show up.
Starting to show.
The seller sees that and goes, "What's this?" Yeah. Well, we're asking to stay, so we just want to be careful of that.
That's right.
Many folks, Clint, here's a tax kind of deal, and I'm not a tax person. I'm going to get a tax person on the show.
Yeah.
I promise not to make it boring. If you're listening, we'll make it fun and exciting, but informational. Because what's happening is a lot of people who bought their home in the last 2 years, Clint, they're watching this market go up, and they're looking at six figures, and they're saying, you know what, we're selling. It's happening, and so we want to make sure that if you're thinking about doing that, I've talked to several people in the last couple of weeks, it's starting to be an issue, and they don't know what's going to happen in the market moving forward.
Gotcha.
So they're looking at this and saying, okay, what do we need to do to get out, and what are the tax ramifications? So I do want to say to you, I am not a CPA by any means, so please talk to your tax professional about what the ramifications might be for capital gains and such if you're going to get ready to sell and you have over a six-figure type situation, any situation, actually.
Yeah, that's
In
right.
fact, I think Chris and John were dealing with that.
That's right, a little bit.
Lot of opportunities going on. So talk to your tax professional about the strategies for that prior to 24 months to sell. Is that fair, Clint?
Yep, very. Definitely talk to
Anything
the
you want to
professional.
add about that one?
Talk to the professional about it. You just don't know where your situation is.
It can be super challenging. We're watching people right now look at the dollars, the new construction. You bought that house, you closed 2 years ago, and you're saying, wow, it might be time to escape. When else am I going to make $200,000 or
more?
Close or more in some cases. Pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And so a lot of opportunities out there to take advantage of, but we want to make sure, just like the commercial says, no uh-ohs.
Yeah.
We're here for you. We're here to help you, whether it's finance or refinance.
Yeah, finance, refinance.
Timing's now.
Listings, selling your
Buying,
home.
Selling, yeah. Selling especially can be super, super complicated right now. Again, there's a lot of moving parts. It's not just that price. When people are paying more than the
But because
appraisal.
it's complicated, Greg, I'm going to throw this out, a little pitch for Greg. That's why you hire Greg.
Yeah,
It is
26 years of
confusing.
experience.
That's exactly right.
No uh-ohs, no surprise for you. And we want to help you get moved without a bunch of stress, challenges, trials, tribulations, and drama.
It can be a little crazy.
Without that, yep. Well, folks, it has been a great Saturday. It's always never enough time, Clint.
I know.
Darn it. So if you need us, folks, realestaterescueidaho.com.
Yep.
Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. Clint and I always want it to be informational and entertaining. If you're buying or selling, or you'd like some financing, reach out to us. You can reach us at realestaterescueidaho.com or our email, greg@realestaterescueidaho.com. That's Greg, G-R-E-G, at realestaterescueidaho.com, or feel free to reach us at 208-559-0590. And if you need to get help moving in or out of Idaho, maybe you just need some safe temporary storage, reach out to our folks over at Pro Relo Group. Reach them through our website, realestaterescueidaho.com. We'll have them give you a call for a safe move. Make sure you get a hold of our folks at Pro Relo. Have a great week. Don't forget to join us here next Saturday at noon for more great tips and strategies to navigate the real estate market in the Treasure Valley. Until then, be safe out there and enjoy the beautiful state of Idaho.